Big welcome to our group of business exit owners on Business Exit Secret Formula. Today, we've got Derek Morgan from Referral Marketing Ideas. Obviously, he's got a lot of ideas. It's a real privilege. I've just met Derek last week, and we connected up on Referit, which is a great platform for lots of people to connect. Derek will explain a lot more about that as we go. But all of these groups that you join, this is all part of helping you on your journey to prepare that business for the big exit. And sometimes you don't have to fully exit, but you're going to just partially and then move on to the next step, which is why we call it Business Exit and Beyond, which is the company that sponsors this today. So could you just give us a little history about yourself, Derek?
Yeah, so I have been one of those guys that I've been involved in sales and business development for over 30 years. So I'm giving away a bit of my age there. But I've found myself moving from a lot of different industries. So I spent 20 odd years in financial services. I then woke up one day and decided that I was going to get out of that and get into technology. So I've worked in startup technology, scale-up technology, enterprise technology. I've worked in services businesses. So I've had a varied background, and didn't matter how large or small or what industry I was in, what business, I always had to rely on my own ability to generate my own leads. Even if we had a marketing budget, there might have been a lot of money spent on marketing and advertising, but it never seemed to land any sales qualified leads or deals. So I was always having to be self-reliant on building and doing that business development and filling that sales pipeline. So that really resulted with me changing industries all the time. I had to go into new networks, create new networks, understand how to engage in those industries with whatever language I had to adopt for that. So we got really good at it, but we really didn't think too much about it. Then with what's been going on in the marketplace in recent years, the art of doing networking and referral partnerships effectively has really started to be lost for fad marketing and, cold outreach and advertising campaigns and, social media content creation and all that fad marketing. So a lot of people are doing business networking and getting frustrated with it, but we've always been pretty successful with it. So we decided to productize that, what we were doing, sit down, look at it, analyze it, and systemize it. So where you've got your exit formula, we've got our referral marketing formula, which is the main pillar of what we do. And then we've got a business or partnerships builder fast start program, which helps businesses build referral partnership strategy and launch it really quickly. So yeah, that's sort of the background.
So really, everything that you brought to the table from the referral marketing ideas is all from everything that you started right from the day dot that was in financial planning, even though you could say that the two weren't connected, very much connected, aren't they?
Yeah, whether it was financial planning, whether it was startup technology, whether it was enterprise technology, as you know, right, the principles never change. Human nature doesn't change. Strategy is incredibly static and robust. Tactics come and go, right? Particularly in marketing. We're all in marketing. We're all in sales, regardless of what business we're in. Marketing is constantly, the tactics are changing. The algorithm's changing. Ad strategies changing all the time. So just when you think you've got it right, it changes and you've got to start again. Well, when it comes to referral marketing and building referral partnerships and being really strategic about that, it's founded in principles. It's founded in human nature. It doesn't change that much. So what we did was actually looked at what we were doing that was successful and broke it down into a framework, which we called the Referral Marketing Formula, then built out a systemized process of engagement that could help people build those referral partnerships in a really systemized model that they can deliver and execute on consistently.
No, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yep. Let's talk about business growth, because everyone's talking about AI, they're talking about everything else, but business growth, people have sort of gone a little bit off that topic. Why do you think that's the case?
I think there's a lot of focus on business growth. I think actually getting it's the challenge. I mean, everyone's out there chasing it, but the marketplace at the moment, as we talked about off camera earlier, it's really noisy at the minute.
Yep.
The feedback that we are getting from the markets that we're seeing through our The businesses, a lot of the businesses that we're talking to for the first time, we're asking them what's the biggest challenge. It's like getting leads and getting engagement. Obviously, talking to a business community that's looking to grow, extract the maximum value out of their business prior to exits, with lots of changes in the marketplace around what it's doing to marketing and the noise it's creating and etc. It's like, how do you actually get business in the door? How do you get that growth? How do you get that consistency of it? There's a lot of shifting sand. And then, back to the point of what we're seeing in the marketplace, lots of businesses are in what has become traditional marketing, outbound ads. They're not getting the cut through. They're not getting the engagement. What do you do?
Yep.
If you've got your sales team out there pounding the doors, or you've got, your ad budget going out, and we're seeing ad spend go up and return on that ad spend go down, conversion go down, then what do you do?
So why do you think that is happening at the moment?
I listened to a podcast called Diaries of the CEO. It should be the second podcast you listen to after this one, obviously. But there was a CEO in there who has a scale-up technology business, and he was saying that he had recently built 5,000 AI agents, 5 with 3 zeros. So these are AI agents who are SDRs. So that's sales development representatives.
Right.
1,000 sales development representatives basically hitting the phone 24/7 on autopilot, on auto dial. One vendor for one product in one line item in your business. So you imagine that piece of technology has probably got 1,000 competitors that think that the clients that they're targeting are also ideal clients. So they spin up an automatic bot to go and target them through cold outreach, cold email, cold calling, spamming, social media. It just gets really, really noisy. And this comes back to the hard to get leads, hard to get cut through scenario, because it is so noisy. There's so much competition out there.
So really what that's saying in the market is that AI is not going to steal your business, but the competitor that uses AI is working with those bots, for example, is going to steal your customers. And then you don't have a business. Would that be correct?
Yeah, look, in one context, yes. Like if you're not adopting AI, you need to understand whether AI is going to be an impact on your business or industry, right? Your industry and your business. And if you do that risk assessment, the answer is no, then okay, AI from an operational perspective might not be impacting on your business, but then you've got so much more competition for your potential next customer that then gets a lot harder to grow and scale. So I guess the question, particularly in the context of exiting your business, it's like, well, how do you do that risk assessment? And then how do you go about mitigating that risk? And how then do you adopt AI so that you actually get the benefits, you get the positives out of it, not the negatives? Because you can't sit and do nothing.
No.
Right. So,
because as we know that unfortunately 80% of businesses don't sell. So when you're doing nothing, what's going to happen on that side of it is that those ones are probably just going to close the doors, have an asset sale. So moving forward on the growth side, they haven't really got any option but really adapt and put it in there into their business, the AI. If they can't do it themselves, that they put their hands up and reach out for someone that can actually help them in that. Would that be?
Yeah, look, you can't go ostrich on it, right? You can't put your head in the sand because, you just get run over. So the question is, how's it going to affect my business? It may not affect it too much operationally, depending on the nature of the industry you're in, or it may affect it a lot. If you're doing nothing, then your competitors are going to be cheaper, faster, better.
Yep.
But I think if we break it up into two categories of AI for marketing and AI for operations, you can get productivity gains around, doing things more efficiently. But if you go and do AI marketing like everybody else is doing it, then you're going to struggle because it's hyper competitive and you are still going to look, sound and be competing with everybody else. So what are your alternatives? You still got to do outbound, but you've got to do outbound smartly. AI outbound may or may not be the answer for you and your business, depending on your size, etc., your market. Then you've got inbound advertising. Well, that can be super challenging. So if either of those two are not working for you, then what next? This is where we are basically running to the complete opposite of the rest of the market. All about private networks. We're all about direct human to human connections. And then how do you foster that into a referral partnership model?
Yes.
That gets you real connections with real people that pick up the phone because you've been referred in, connected in, and you've got borrowed trust into that relationship. So you get that engagement, you get cut through, and your sales cycles just move faster and your conversion rates go higher. So I think, shameless plug, that's the biggest missed opportunity in most businesses, is that they're so focused on all these squirrel type marketing models and it's not business's fault, right?
No.
It's what the market conditions them to do. It's their strategy for you so they make a profit. So it's like, okay, well, it's not to say don't do it and it doesn't work.
No.
But whilst you're doing cold outreach or whilst you're doing paid advertising, don't miss the opportunity that's sitting right in your own backyard, which is your existing clients, your existing network, your ability to connect, leverage, and do partnership and referral strategies through that.
With a lot of our, obviously our group of people on our show, is that they're so concerned now that is their business actually going to be around in the next 2 years? And even if they do something, are they going to be in a situation where the younger ones are just going to take over their businesses as well? Or what should they do? Because a lot of people are getting very overwhelmed. Like when we're talking to people out there, they are going, what do we do? What do we do? And they've got a real type of situation of overreacting. What would you say that the first thing they should start looking at?
Probably slow down to go faster, right? Technology is a great enabler. The question is, what are you enabling, right? I'll tone this down a little bit, but if you've got a Ferrari, so technology is a Ferrari, right?
Yep.
And you take a bag of fertilizer and you put it in the driver's seat, in the passenger's seat, then all you're doing is moving crap fast. The fact that you've got a great piece of technology, but it's the old CRM analogy, you're crapping crap out. So as far as what do businesses do in the next 10 years, I guess it really depends, right? It depends on their industry. It depends on their marketplace. It depends on their plan, their strategy. To your point that you spoke about earlier, how close are they to exit? Do they have the energy and the motivation to make some significant changes if that's required? Or are they in an industry where they have time? I don't know. So there's no sort of one right answer fits all. It's the question then comes down to slowing down, giving yourself the time to think a little bit strategically, understand what the landscape is, use AI to do a SWOT analysis, see what's coming at you from your industry perspective, and go, okay, what are my strengths, weaknesses? What are my risks? What are my opportunities? And then make some decisions from there as to do you sell out? Do you pivot? Do you transform? That's a depends question, right?
Yep.
I guess the thing that you'll obviously need to be careful with technology is AI is an enabler. Are you enabling the right strategy? Right? It's the old CRM type analogy, rubbish in, rubbish out. If you're applying the wrong strategy, the wrong approach to AI, and you're going fast down that track, you're going to run down a deep rabbit warren or hole really, really quickly. So you need to make sure you got your strategy and tactics right, that you're getting AI to enable the right things to go fast. Otherwise, you're enabling the wrong things to go fast.
So really, it's really all businesses need to go back and plan where they're going to go in the next, say, 1 to 5 years to start off with.
100%, right? Because the biggest challenge that we're all facing as business owners and employees within businesses is the speed of change. This is like nothing that's ever gone before. The disruption and the speed of disruption. It might be that you think that your business, you might be able to make those technology shifts and optimize and get productivity up and costs down, etc. But then the knock-on effect of AI could introduce some entirely other impact that hits your revenue stream, even though you might be optimized operationally because of your consumers, your customers are impacted by AI in a way that you can't actually use technology to optimize that out of your business, right?
So really our formula in the exit-ready operating system, which is prepare, optimize, and exit, really applies all the way through, doesn't it? So even if you don't want to get to the stage, like I'm not going to sell in the next 5 years, we all need to prepare and we all need to optimize our business. Even if you don't go to step 3 at the moment, you have to do those 2 steps, don't you?
100%. I've got 20-year background in financial planning. Part of my background was specializing in business succession and estate planning, but prior to that, full-blown investment planning. It's the earlier you plan, bigger and the better the retirement nest egg that you get to exit with at retirement. Same with your business exit, right? The earlier you plan. The problem is your 3 to 5 year runway, which was in my understanding, and I'm no expert, was you really need to be planning 3 to 5 years out. If you want to exit in 5 years, you need 3 to 5 years.
Oh, 100%.
Planning.
Yes.
Well, that's now compressed.
It is.
Because, AI is speeding everything up. So your planning has to happen right now at warp speed.
Yeah.
Because your business model might be completely different in 5 years. And that has to happen right now, right? You need to assess the market risk and what's happening in the technology risk and all the other risks to business that we always had to plan for. But now we've got this AI impact. Businesses can't sit still around that. So what are the things that they need to be looking at for their industry, their business, and their timelines, and start doing it fast?
Because like you say, the compounding back to your financial planning, if you put in $1 back in 1980, for example, and you even just put that into the share market, today would worth a lot of money, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you're in the top 500,
Yeah.
we'll say. So today it's very much the same, isn't it? So the more we invest now for the future of our business, then we're actually going to have a business to sell.
Yeah.
But if we don't start that, and some people might have left it a bit late even.
Well, it's the old tree analogy, right? When's the best time to plant a tree? 25 years ago.
Yes.
When's the next best time? It's today.
Yeah.
But I guess the difference in planning and expectations of how much time we have from a business context, right? Just purely from a business context. We used to count in human years, one at a time.
Yes.
Now we count in dog years.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Everything's just speeding up that fast, right? So I guess, roll the sleeves up, give yourself some space to do some strategic planning. Don't let the day-to-day hustle and grind stop you from, particularly this time of year in Australia. It's like end of financial year, start of new financial year. Typically, you're doing some planning. Make sure you're doing it at a deeper level, more strategic level that you've done before, and don't underestimate the value of the networks, the business, the past client relationships that you have, and think about, because what we see in the marketplace, everybody's chasing the next net new client that they've never spoken to before and want to get them cold out of the marketplace. Well, they take longer to nurture, warm up, convert, etc. I often tell a story about a technology firm I introduced a referral partner to. Was sat in their CRM and database, and I mean, when I introduced them, I sat them around a board table and established that they had a good relationship for strategically referring to each other. 2 years passed, I'd done nothing with them. I went and had 2 coffees with that partner, and within 6 months, that technology company had written $11.2 million worth of new business because I went in and fostered that relationship. Nobody followed up for 2 years. That was a $44 million opportunity cost, right?
Yeah.
So I think the market conditions us to go chasing what's out there to the expense of looking at what are the existing networks, relationships, and how do I better leverage, collaborate with, and work with and leverage those relationships Don't stop doing your outbound. You still need to do it. Don't stop doing your advertising if it's right for your business and it's working. Question is, most businesses, is it even working, or is it just a money pit? But don't miss the opportunity to form genuine referral partnerships and do referral marketing properly, which is predictable and scalable, as opposed to just getting referred leads, which is ad hoc and unpredictable.
Well, I think the nugget for our audience there is that, did you listen to that carefully? What Derek said was that he went back and he had a couple of coffees and he nurtured a deal that's $44 million, a client that they hadn't even talked to for 2 years. So a lot of people might have 100 clients on their network. Do they actually go back and talk to them instead of, like you say, the noise of going out to the other ones? Like, that's just one client. That's 44 million.
Yeah.
If nothing else you got out of this podcast, that nugget of just getting in contact with those people, it'd be better looking at your current list and think, when was the last time I talked to that customer?
Yeah, exactly. And when you start thinking strategically about who your customers currently work with, there's a whole host of vendors, suppliers, representatives, advisors that client is working with, who most likely have clients that look exactly like your best client.
Yeah.
It's about having a strategy, a process, and a structure for sitting down and having a conversation with your client and saying, hey, can you introduce me to X type of business or X type of provider, so that you can then go and have a referral partnership conversation with that provider, because they can then lead you to tens of leads, hundreds of leads, thousands of leads, tens of thousands, depending on your business, your product, and your market. So when you have a framework for doing that, then you can basically build referral partnerships on demand and tap into lots of your ideal customers without having to pay for ads, without having to do cold outreach.
Yep. Because everything comes back to trust. So in that referral group that you've got, you've been referred because someone's trusted you. And then they've referred on to the next person because they've trusted that person, right?
Yep.
So they don't land up in the concept of being what we call a cold lead. These people are turning up as hot leads, aren't they? Because you've just done job for Jim down the road, and Jim was as happy as anything. He said, "Mate, you have to come and do this job for George."
Yeah.
And so before you know it, it's like you're looking at, oh, yeah, his price is about the same and whatever, but you're giving the job because of the referral, aren't you?
You are, but I'll probably draw a bit of a distinction in that customers are not good referrers, right? So the reason on average, you'll get some customers that they're wired to do referrals, but you can't rely on customers to be good referrers. It can be a challenge to train customers to be good referrers. Now, you can incentivize them in different ways. This is where the missed opportunity is for most businesses, particularly in the B2B space, right? Is that relies on relationship. Therefore, becomes unpredictable. This is where people go word of mouth marketing. I get referrals.
Yes.
I can't rely on them.
Yeah.
Where it gets well within your control to use referral marketing as a marketing strategy, where you've got a system, you've got a process, like any other sales system or process, that you know that if you do the action, you get the reward. Then it's about do the action. The thing with most businesses is they don't have a structured referral program. They're doing it on purely a relationship-based process,
right?
Which is labor intensive. It doesn't scale and it's not duplicatable, right? So when you actually have a referral partner model in your business, it's like any other sales system. You refine it, you get it to the point where you know that it works, and then it's an activities-based process. You know exactly who you're looking for, you know exactly what to say to them, and then it's just about making the connections and relationships as hyper-targeted. And then you've got a process to enable those referral partnerships. So that's a big difference between referral marketing and just getting referred leads. That's why partnerships is so much more powerful than just relying on your customers to refer when they think about it.
Yeah. And even the strategic partners too, because a lot of people can work together where one's got a speciality in one field, and someone else has got a speciality in another. And how can you put that together? So some people would say, okay, well, I'll refer you and I get a percentage or whatever. There's that part. There's some people that do strategic alliances. Say they've got a niche. They're in the same field. Like in my line, I obviously know a lot about construction and property. But if someone said, I want to go and buy a business that's for a doctor or health and medicine, I need to talk to someone else, because that's not my field of expertise. But in that network, and it's the same, isn't it? Where a lot of people, where you might have someone that's saying, look, I'm doing this deal and I'm looking for this lawyer that does, say, for example, leases, commercial leases, but then I've got someone else that I want a mortgage broker to do. So you can have a range of different people within your network that you've got that trusted. So it's really more, like I say, not a customer that's the referral, but it's more of a business networking where you like-minded people doing. And obviously, if everyone else is getting leads and contacts, and that's the power of it, really, from what I understand.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And then when you take that to the point where the value that you create for the referral partner is tied to their business goals or outcomes, you're creating a win for the customer when the partner refers you, and the interaction that you're having with that customer adds value to that business, because the value exchange doesn't always need to be commissions. It doesn't always need to be, you referred me a lead, I refer you a lead. If there's some other value exchange tied to that partner's core goals that you're enabling, or a problem that you're solving, then that becomes a really powerful collaboration, because now you're part of their go-to-market strategy, because you're now embedded in their processes, because you're solving a problem or you're adding extra value to them. And that's when synergy flows, and that's when you get scale. So when you get that model right for one partner, let's say, when you get that right for an accountant, well, then you can take that model and duplicate it with 10, 20, 30, 40 accountants.
Yes. Yeah.
That's when you can scale on demand. That then just comes down to a capacity to deliver issue for you.
Yep. And so in that case, that's an ideal. When we started this interview was about growth. That's how you can grow your business, isn't it?
Yeah.
Without actually a lot of money, you still need to be awareness, because people are still going to check you out on your website. People are still going to check you out on your social media. That's just part. We all do that, don't we? But at the end of the day, you've got someone that's you're helping out, and they are a part of that synergy. We could just about use that word.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why collaboration's a word that we use a lot within our within our vernacular, because we are all about connecting, communicating, and collaborating.
Yes. Yep.
But to your point, you're growing leads and sales and filling your pipeline with high quality prospects that have been warm referred leads in. Just speeds up your sales cycle, speeds up your conversion, reduces margin compression. Your margin is higher because the nature of the relationship means that they're not negotiating as hard.
No, that's right.
Right.
And your outlay is less, because you're not advertising to the market and going around. As long as we remember that we have to look after all of our past clients, right? We'll contact them regularly. Just because they don't contact you, and most of the time they'll contact you because they've got a problem. As we were saying before, if they haven't been contacted in the last 2 years, let's start looking at your list. And that's all part of your network, isn't it?
Yeah. And work out how you're expecting referrals from your clients. Are you actually doing referrals to your clients? Are you actually connecting them up with each other? When you're business networking for yourself and you find somebody that's not a right connection for you, but could be a good connection for your clients, do you have a mindset of actually making that introduction?
So you're talking about a networking model. Do you have something our clients, like a cheat sheet or something like that they could actually use?
So David, I can probably do one better than that. I can actually give your community some complementary tools that can turnkey this whole referral partnership model to at least get them started. Yeah, if I'll pass on some links and you can drop those in the show notes.
100%. So when you say you've got a platform, is that what you've got? What's that called?
So that's Referit.ai. That's the Ferrari for helping you build your network referral partnerships fast. And then obviously referral marketing ideas is the strategy and the tactics side of things around building your go-to-market process or your model, your referral partnership model. And then Referit is the platform technology to make it easy to execute on.
So that's like a glorified website where everyone comes together, we'll call it. Would that be the Referit, the actual network? Explain about the network to our clients so they understand a little bit more.
So Referit, everybody's on social media and they're building communities in all sorts of different places. They're in online networking events. They're going to industry events networking. They're going to in-person breakfast, lunches and dinners networking. They're on LinkedIn, social media, WhatsApp, whatever. Everybody's connecting and referring all over the place, and every different networking group has their own systems and processes. It's an absolute nightmare. So you send or receive a referral via email, text message, LinkedIn message, WhatsApp message, whatever, and then it just gets swamped by all this other activity. So there's so much leakage of referrals that don't get followed up. That's a massive problem. CRMs aren't the solution. And then when you're working with referral partners, everybody has a different CRM. So what Referit is your own private network platform where you have your own private community. People can't look in. No one's farming data. They're not advertising. But you can use that to network across all of your different online in-person events, and you've got one standard platform. You then invite your referral partners into that platform, and now you've got standardization around referrals and collaboration across a single platform. Everyone can plug in whatever technology their business uses, but for running a referral partnership, you've got one common layer, technology layer. So that's Referit. And then Referral Marketing Ideas is where you can get access to me and my IP and my thinking around, technology is not the answer. It's what you do with the technology. So Referit's really powerful. What we spoke about before, you've got to apply the right strategy and tactics to it to get the right outcome.
So moving forward with that, it sounds like you say, the leakage is the biggest problem, isn't it? And we all walk off with a bundle of cards that we've been to a networking event that we go, put them into our CRMs because we've got our digital cards and all that sort of stuff, and then we just bomb all the stuff out. So really what you're doing is that you're not letting everyone into your community because you've got your own private community, but then like-minded people within your community have access to you. Would that be correct?
Yeah, exactly. You're managing your private community and how people interact with each other as individuals.
Yep.
And effectively, you're standardizing that process through whole lots of different engagement, networking events and that sort of thing that you're going to and happening. You've now got a single platform that you can network through all of those events exactly the same way.
Wow. So I don't believe I know of anything else like that, because all the rest of it, it's like a shoot and then collect, and then you've got the lead, you've got the person, but there's no follow through. Your platform does that, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it creates a collaboration environment where the people referring can actually collaborate in that community without having to go. So all of your partner and referral collaboration happens in one spot instead of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different spots, which is what's happening right now.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so what we'll do is all the links that we're going to do will be on the show notes. So we are always on Apple Podcasts, we're on Amazon, we're on Spotify. All of this stuff will be there. Of course, we're always on YouTube. So underneath all the show notes, we'll put Derek Morgan's, all of his details there from his referral marketing ideas and the Referit platform. So you got 2 platforms here. And thank you for joining us today. I hope you got lots of nuggets, but just remember, ring up all of those current customers. I think that's the biggest nugget. So we are Business Exit Secret Formula. I think today that's the secret formula. Don't forget your current clients, ring them up, even if you haven't talked to them for 2 years, because you might have a $44 million deal.
Yeah, make sure you ring them with the right conversation piece, though. Have a plan.
Yep. And that's exactly what Derek's going to provide in the show notes and all the rest of it and have access to. So you're not going to go there trying to say, what do I say? That's
exactly.
correct, isn't it?
Yep.
So thank you very much. And this is Business Exit and Secret Formula.